Hi, this is Maggie. I wanted to talk about Mars and Sagittarius, the transit. Um, it's a lot of restless energy to keep moving, and especially it's going to affect the fire signs if you're Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. You'll have energy to burn. Mars is martial, it's the ruler of Aries, fire. So Mars and Sag just feels extremely restless. I mean, I had to get out and go to the beach today because I just felt really confined and I craved freedom and adventure and just something out of the everyday routine. Um, so Sag needs that. And, if you can't travel, short trips are good, or just use your mind to, explore new philosophies or learn new languages. It's going to be there about 6 weeks. It began January 27th, and it will be through March 18th when we're going to Capricorn. So when it goes into Capricorn, it's going to be all about work. Your drive to work, to further your career, to climb the ladder to success. And, it'll join Pluto and Saturn and everything else up there in Capricorn, but for now, it's almost a relief to have Saturn go into Sagittarius. It's excellent for the fire signs because they're in trine. It gives them, his creativity and energy, inspiration, brings the inspiration back because when it was in Scorpio, Mars was in Scorpio, it was like deep water and a lot of stuff was coming up, and intuition and just sensitivity. So this really lightens up a lot, having Mars in Sag. But it is the planet of aggression, and being, if you have Sagittarius, say, in the 9th house, that's the house of Sagittarius, and Mars is the planet of aggression. So, in Sagittarius, it's all about foreign countries, different cultures. So, I'm not saying there could be aggression against, different cultures or foreigners, but it could come up, in the news or something, which it has been ongoing. So try to stay out of politics. It's just such a drag to read, I just skim it, but anyway. So very, very inspirational, very inspirational travel plans. If you're making travel plans, excellent time to make travel plans. In fact, I should make some. I should make some maybe Monday. Just at least start planning a trip, even if it's just a local little trip. That would be an excellent time to do that. Also, Mercury will be going into Pisces February 17th, and the Sun will be going into Pisces February 18th. So they're going in early. It's like February is a very short month, so I think there's only 28 days. So so communication will be colored very sensitive. Of course, the time to yourself, and the Sun in Pisces, on the 18th, will be like, the process of looking within. But this is about Mars. Mars is like the total opposite of Pisces. Mars is, Pisces is the 12th house. Mars is the first, the Aries, ruler of Aries, and it's joint ruler of Scorpio. Pluto and Mars are ruler of Scorpio. So Mars wants action. It wants to move. It wants drive, ambition. It wants to get things done. So if you're just sitting around the house with Mars and Sag, and say you have it in the 9th house or in one of the fire houses, I suggest, try to use that energy some way, either through exercise or just something stimulating, some outing or some new foreign restaurant, or culturally to learn something new, because Sag craves adventure. It's ruled by Jupiter, the optimist, so I think people will be a lot more lighthearted than when it was in heavy Scorpio. All these watery feelings coming up. So, so Sag, Mars and Sag just wants to have fun. They want to have fun and adventure. Yeah, so if you're a fire sign, I strongly suggest doing something fun. Going out, maybe out of your neighborhood at least, at the very least, just to burn off some of this energy and satisfy the craving of Mars and Sag for adventure. Or you could, meet up with some foreigners, or meet some new people culturally under this influence. But if you don't satisfy the restless urge of Sagittarius, the Martian urge to get moving, and Sagittarius loves to travel, it could come out as nervous energy, especially if you're a fire sign, or if you have a lot of planets in fire. That I would suggest just to go to the beach or go to the woods, and just whatever turns you on, but just to try to be cognizant of this energy, and to maybe read travel books, browse National Geographic, or watch the Travel Channel. There's just mild ways to use it, or talk to someone in another country, or you may just perchance, like, say, if you're shopping, run across someone in a store, start up a conversation. So, but it's a great time to begin travel plans, at least put them into formation. So just it's time to lighten up, have fun, and watch arguments, debating philosophy, debating religion, because there can be a very rigid point of view. Mars likes to win and likes to be right. Sometimes they like to spar, but Sagittarius is a lot more open-minded, I think, not than Aries. I mean, Aries is open-minded as well, but Sagittarius has more more foresight and vision, and Aries is more impulsive, and it is Aries ruler, so that they would tend to be a little more argumentative, whereas Sagittarians would be looking towards the future. I mean, if you look at the arrow and the symbol of Mars, it's almost like Sagittarius's arrow that they aim and fire towards a vision of their future. So it can be very inspirational to begin new adventures, or to think about beginning new adventures. And meanwhile, you could just try to read something new, or exercise, or exercise sounds like work. You want it to be fun and adventurous. Exercise does not sound adventurous unless you're going to the beach or something fun, tide pooling, something like that, surfing, or it could be debating philosophy and religion. So be very cautious about that, because Mars can make you very aggressive, and Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, so it rules the higher mind, wisdom, philosophy, religion, law, teaching. So, Sagittarians are great at espousing their ideals, and, they're just so intelligent and wise, because they are ruled by Jupiter. Not all of them, of course, but they do have that restless spirit to roam and travel. But because Mars is there, just be aware and not to get into arguments, especially about politics or about, it's just the potential to get it, to an argument, maybe about immigration or about, I mean, for those of you who love to talk politics, I'm just saying that with Mars there, it can get a little heated. So, just you can have a debate, but just cool it with the temper. Cool it with the temper, unless, that's your thing. I just don't see the point. But, yeah, it is my ruler. It is my ruler we're talking about. So, I mean, Mars in Aries is a far different thing than Mars in Sagittarius. Mars in Sag is more idealistic, more idealistic. It's not out to just spar, argue. It's all about higher learning, higher philosophy, higher education, and just ideals. You might really, really fight for ideals. Start fighting, start an argument or a debate, and it could become heated about, the border wall, or there's so much going on in our world. It could be about anything, but I don't want to spawn arguments, because what I see is adventure. Go out and have fun. If you're a fire sign, and if you're an air sign, fire and air are sextile to each other. It's a very harmonious aspect, and when air fans the flame, and they get on great. Like Aries and Aquarius, they get along great. And, so, it's very good for air signs as well. Gemini is opposed to Sagittarius, so with Geminis, they're very mercurial. So, they could have, and they could have a potential to spar as well, because it is in direct opposition with Mars and Sagittarius, and depending, of course, what house you have it in. So, anyway, I hope you like this video. If you do, please like and subscribe. And thank you. Frankly, I'm glad Mars is in Sagittarius. I feel like it's lightening up already. Yeah, so I'd like to hear how it's affecting you. Okay, thanks for listening.